Previously on Doctor Who.
I've moved the TARDIS to a safe distance. We've a few minutes until the inversion field reaches us.
Then everything resets?
Not necessarily.
The other universe will be saved, won't it?
The other universe ceases to be. Time fractured, creating an alternative timeline here.
And me? Am I an alternative timeline?
Doctor?
Hello, and you are?
It's me, Ellie.
Doctor, this is my daughter, Ellie. Surely you remember her?
I'm sorry, my dear, but you are not the Ellie Parker I remember meeting.
What?
I don't understand. My daughter is not my daughter?
No, not exactly, but when I met Ellie, she had blue eyes, not brown.
Anne was blonde, not brunette.
What?
What does this mean?
Time hasn't reset, at least not correctly.
I see a fracture, splintering into shards.
We must stop it, before the whole of history is corrupted.
They're not still arguing, are they?
Nearly an hour now.
You sure I can't go in?
Do not disturb means just that. Not even for family. I said no, miss.
I'm just listening.
But Caroline, you're just being totally unreasonable.
Oh, for goodness sakes, you come in here with all this bobbins.
Caroline, don't you realise what's going on?
I'm still trying to understand it. You're saying Ellie isn't not really my daughter?
No, Ellie is definitely your daughter. It's just that time hasn't reset properly. So she is as you remember her, but she's not as I remember her.
So when did time reset, exactly?
You don't recall?
Should I?
I'd have thought you might. Maybe. When were you last aboard the TARDIS?
Years ago.
Are you sure?
Huh?
Concentrate. Now think back. When were you last with me? Think about the last time you were aboard the TARDIS. It may not be totally clear. Like a memory of a dream.
I remember a choice. Something to do with Ellie. Oh, and there were Daleks there too.
Well done. I knew you'd be able to recall the parallel timeline if prompted. Once a time traveller.
That was me?
It was an alternative. It's all a bit timey-wimey.
And do you think we're still stuck in a parallel timeline?
A divergent one at least. Most things appear correct, let's face it. The United Kingdom is still part of Europe, grass is still green, and vampires don't sparkle in sunlight.
But were those things ever likely to be real?
True, but here we are. Ellie is not the same person I met all those months ago. I doubt she's the only thing that's different.
Can you correct whatever's gone wrong?
I can but try. We need to find out what is actually wrong first.
Where do we start? Shall I call in Kevin? He's our resident psychic.
No, whatever's out of kilter has to do with me, something I did. Something I've yet to do.
Doctor, this is Unit. We have all your files on record.
All my files?
Earth-related ones, anyway. We've copies of the Torchwood archives, too. Every time you've turned up to battle some intergalactic nasty, right the way back to 1879.
Well, the records about me seem as good a place to start as any.
It's cold. Oh, stop complaining. You got a choice in signing up. I didn't.
It's called national service. It's not as if you're the only one.
If I was a few months younger, I wouldn't have to be here at all. I have a real job on the outside. A career.
So you keep saying. And it'll be waiting for you when you get out. So, for now, just go with the job in hand.
What exactly are we supposed to be guarding, anyhow?
Not likely to be telling us, are they?
Well, Biffo was saying there is something under that tarp, in the middle of the field.
Then you've answered your own question.
But what is it?
Come on, finish your coffin nail. We're supposed to be on patrol.
5 more minutes. My feet are just starting to get some feeling back.
If the Sarge catches us skiving, we'll be on Jankers. Hurry up. What was that?
What was what?
I thought I heard something. Over there.
Well, do we take a look?
What the hell?
Everything is on computer from 1971 onwards. Prior to that, we only have old-fashioned paper copies. Hard copies are, of course, much more difficult to cross-reference. Shall I arrange for some tea?
Who or what are the Ffyxx?
Oh, some sort of space vampire, I think.
I don't remember them. So when and where did that happen?
It's a long time since I reviewed those files. Why not just read it for yourself?
I can't. It's about me. Something that has yet to happen. What would she say?
Spoilers, probably. Oh, give it to me.
I just need the date and the location.
The events take place in the vicinity of Middle Wallop Army Air Force Base. You arrive on Saturday the 12th of January, 1959.
Then that's where I need to be.
I'll come with you.
You can't. You've read the report.
A long time ago.
Then you know what's going to happen.
Isn't that the point?
No. You know what's written in that report and can make events irrefutable. I need things to unfold naturally. Make my choices. I may need to alter the past to correct the present. Time is in a state of flux. It's going to need a nudge in the right direction.
But how will you know?
I have an unerring sense in these things.
Oh, so that's it. On a whim, you rush off.
It's what I usually do.
What about Ellie?
Oh, something will sort itself out. I just have to find out what, and then hopefully time snaps back into place. Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there. Or rather, didn't realise you'd be spying at the keyhole.
Ellie!
Sorry, you're leaving, aren't you?
As you were listening, do you really need to ask that question?
Can I come with you?
Ellie?
Please, just one trip.
Look,
the Doctor has to have a travelling companion.
And he does. And I'm right here.
Macy, is everything okay?
Just family stuff. So, where are we heading?
You're coming with me. I thought...
Can we talk about this later? I need a distraction.
Your carriage awaits.
And me?
No.
Please.
Oh, all right. Just one trip.
Doctor!
Result.
Doctor, a word, if I may, in private.
Oh, I know that face. That is a bad face.
Macy, take Ellie to the TARDIS. You're both going to need clothing suitable for January 1959. So for once, shall we try for substance over style?
Come on.
Now, you wanted to speak to me.
Don't take Ellie with you.
After all the adventures you and I shared, you deny her one trip.
Doctor,
Yes?
look after her.
Of course!
No matter what you say has gone wrong with time, she is my daughter.
I know.
If anything happens to her, I will shoot you. And when you regenerate, I will shoot you again just to make the point.
Understood. I'm going to go now.
Sir, sorry to interrupt. Professor Darcy from the Pathology Department has arrived.
Very well, Sergeant. Show him in.
Now, Colonel, perhaps you will care to explain to me what is so important that I have been woken in the wee small hours and taken from my home by armed soldiers.
Please sit down, Professor.
I am waiting for an explanation, Colonel.
Please sit down.
Well?
Last night, something crashed in the grounds of the base.
No crash? Some sort of airplane?
No, not an aeroplane.
Then what?
The object is currently unidentified. It is possible it has fallen to Earth from space.
Are you joking?
I seldom joke about such matters, Professor.
Well, this is all very fascinating, Colonel, but it doesn't explain why I am here.
The object was secured and patrols posted. One of the patrols was attacked.
You suspect foul play?
The artifact is inside the base, so either our security is compromised or something came from that object. One of my men is dead. The other is in some sort of coma.
What?
Medics have never seen anything like it before. The body was, well, this is where we need your expertise. I need to know exactly what we are dealing with here.
Is it much further?
About a mile.
It's freezing.
I did tell you, style over substance.
But it's a Mary Quant. You didn't tell me you had a Mary Quant original in the TARDIS wardrobe.
You never asked. She travelled with me briefly, you know. Left a lot of stuff behind when she departed. I must get round to dropping it off sometime.
Is this for real?
Possibly, though I sometimes think he just makes up meeting all these famous people so he can name drop.
I heard that.
If you knew where we were heading, why not just land the TARDIS there? Save all the walking.
That is a really good question.
Because materialising a space-time vessel in the middle of a military site which is already dealing with a hostile alien threat is not exactly conducive to our safety.
So, what is the plan?
Do you think he has one?
Thank you. We walk up to the front door and bluff our way in.
That is your plan?
Told you.
It's a work in progress.
Hey, look, a soldier.
With a rifle.
Well, let's hope he can point us in the right direction.
Good morning, sir and ladies. I'm sorry, this route has been declared off limits. Military exercise.
I'm with unit.
Too early doesn't exist yet.
So, if you'll turn around and head back the way you came...
But...
Let the doctor handle this.
You're sending us away, given that our presence here has been specifically requested?
Sir?
My credentials?
Yes, of course, sir. We were told to expect someone from the British Rocket Group. And these young ladies?
My assistants, of course.
Nice perks.
If you've quite finished ogling.
Sorry, sir?
I suggest you arrange for some transport to get us to the officer in charge. And maybe some tea and breakfast. Then we can get on with sorting this out.
Here we are, Professor. All the facilities of our medical centre are at your disposal.
And the armed guard is here at my disposal too.
We are dealing with unknowns, Professor. The base has been put on alert.
Well, I suppose I'll just have to put up with it for now. Is this the corpse?
Yes, sir. This was Private Black.
Good Lord. I thought you said this man was killed a few hours ago.
He was. And what's more, he's only 19 years old. Heaven knows what his family will be told.
But this man appears...
Sir, please. We're required to take precautions against potential contamination.
Quite right.
If you care to follow the orderly, he will show you where you can find a gown and gloves.
You are not staying to watch?
No. If you need anything, please do not hesitate to ask any of the personnel.
Right, well, show me where I can get changed.
Sorry to disturb you. Is everything all right?
Pardon?
Is everything all right?
Yes, I was... What is it?
Nothing important. Do you want to talk about it?
I'm fine.
It might help. You're worried about Ellie?
Yes, of course I am.
It's really that dangerous travelling with the doctor?
Sometimes, but...
But?
Have you read the file on the Ffyxx?
It's not one I'm familiar with. Is it where they've gone?
Yes.
Thank you, Private Pentacost. You can return to your duties.
Sir?
If you wait here a moment, I'll tell Colonel Wallace that you've arrived. Sir, sorry to disturb you. Dr. John Smith from BRG has arrived with two young ladies, his assistants.
That was damn quick. We only put the call in an hour ago.
What are you looking for?
Pen and paper.
Here.
Very well. Send Dr. Smith in.
And his assistants?
Yes, actually, best not let the fair sex be exposed to this. Just him.
The fair sex? Who does he think he is?
Macy, Ellie, one of you find a phone. Yes. British Rocket Group needs to know that we have arrived safely and we'll be looking into the situation.
The Colonel will see you now. Just the Doctor. I'm sorry, ladies.
Is this tape thing on? Well, hold the microphone steady. I have been asked to provide a commentary on the post-mortem of a British soldier named David Robert Black, who has died in unknown circumstances. The subject is a male, 5 feet 10 inches tall. The subject is only 68 pounds in weight. I am advised that the subject is 19 years old and passed away within the last 4 hours. The visual inspection of the corpse does not support this. The subject appears to be significantly older in both physical age, which I would estimate at 60 to 65, however, and the corpse appears to be desiccated, which would account for the physical weight. I'm at odds to understand how such a change could be brought about. I'm now examining...
This is all very interesting, Colonel, but I'm no stranger to the concept of aliens, be they little green men or anything further afield.
Oh, yes, I've read about those matters.
You need my help, apparently. Would you care to show me?
Show you?
If you were merely curious about something, you would have picked up the telephone and asked. But you wanted a scientist here. Therefore, I must conclude that you have something physical, tangible, that you need examined. Then there's your office, or should I say temporary office. A decorated career soldier like you would have mementos around the place, and yet I look around, not a one. And finally, your office faces out over rolling fields. Very picturesque, but this office has been chosen, because there, in the third field near the electricity pylon, I can see a patrol guarding something under a tarpaulin.
Good Lord.
So, would you care to show me?
All very astute. Here, we photographed what's under the tarpaulin. We presume it buried itself on impact. It's a miracle it missed the power lines.
Hardly a miracle. And given the soil displacement, I'd say at least 2/3 of it is below ground. You've not tried to dig it out?
At the moment, we don't know what it is, or how much it weighs, so we're not attempting to move it. The trouble is, the whole area is riddled with caves and old mine workings.
I don't recognise the design.
You could hardly be expected to, but I'm afraid there is more. Come with me.
Right, come on you two, the Colonel has lots to show us.
I really don't think this is suitable for young ladies.
On the contrary, it's very suitable for them. It's character building.
If you're sure.
I don't know, you expect women to run your factories, grow your food, and the minute the boys finish fighting, they're supposed to run back home and play house.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, don't worry about it. I assure you, Colonel, that my assistants are made of very stern stuff.
If you will follow me, Sergeant Peters with us, please.
I made the call. Message received. Paula says hi.
Paula? That's a new one.
What? She's the daughter of a friend.
That's what they all say.
1959. Is that where they've gone?
Yes.
There's something else, isn't there? Something that happens there.
There is a list of the dead. Those killed by the Ffyxx. Second to last page.
Private David Roberts Black. Private Samuel Biff Lincoln. Private Jed.
The list goes on. The last name is of particular interest, to me anyway. A Miss Parker, full identity unverified, listed as assistant to Dr. John Smith.
That's the alias the doctor uses. You think that's...
It's funny. I always thought that when he encountered the Ffyxx it would be my last adventure with him. I fully expected to die. But I'm here. And Ellie is there.
As you can see, we're maintaining a full isolation protocol.
Very wise. Shall we?
Private Grigson was found unconscious near the artefact in the early hours.
What's the artefact?
He has been unconscious ever since. His colleague was not as fortunate. He's in the mortuary.
Doctor, this medical chart doesn't make sense.
Let me. You're right. By all accounts, this man should be dead. Well, technically, he's not actually alive.
But he's breathing.
I don't think he is.
Then what? What is that device?
Oh, this is something I cobbled together. This man is virtually brain dead. All electrical activity has ceased, yet his autonomic functions continue. Respiration, pulmonary.
How is that possible?
Has this man been examined?
Of course. Our MD is overseeing him. He has hypothesised that Grigson could simply be in shock or have an acute infection.
So, Colonel, what's next?
Follow me.
The infirmary is guarded, isn't it?
As you saw, you came in. An armed sentry outside the main entrance.
Very well. Ellie, stay here, will you?
Okay. Why?
Let me know the instant that there's any change in his condition.
You're expecting him to wake up, aren't you?
Absolutely.
And how will I know where you are?
Phone. There you are. Free calls, instant upgrade. The number's all programmed in. See you later.
So what do you have to do to get a cup of tea around here? Talkative, aren't you?
I'm about to make an incision into the abdomen to inspect the organs within the chest cavity. What is that noise? Can't you hear it? It's dashed annoying. What was I doing? Incision. Did you see that? It moved. The corpse moved. This is impossible. It's a corpse. It wants me.
Professor Darcy is head of pathology at Salisbury General.
And he's seconded to the army?
Drafted him, more like.
The Emergency Powers Act enables us.
I'm surprised you don't have your own staff for such things.
Good point, but no one likes to show off.
This is an unknown situation. What is it?
Shh. Can you hear that?
Is that lightning? Inside the building?
It's coming from the lab.
Colonel, slow down. We don't know what's happening in there.
Stand back and release him.
It's no use, Colonel.
I'm authorised to fire. Stand aside.
What is that thing doing?
Good God.
No!
What was that thing?
I assume it used to be Private Black.
But he was dead.
I wouldn't exactly say it looked alive and well.
Hello? This is Wallace. I want the base on full alert. Some sort of creature is loose within the grounds. Yes, I said creature. It's killed Professor Darcy and one of the orderlies. Last seen in the vicinity of the medical wing. Use of weapons is authorised. Shoot to kill.
Doctor, look.
Don't touch them.
I wasn't going to. Are they dead?
I'm not exactly sure. Who were these men?
The orderly is called Crawford, and that was Professor Darcy.
You really shouldn't have shot at that creature. It could be anywhere by now.
Don't worry, Doctor. The patrols will find it and kill it.
How do you kill something that's already dead?
Those poor souls looked like Private Black did earlier, when he was brought in.
I'm not surprised. I can only presume whatever happened to Private Black has been done to them as well.
And what has happened to them?
Give me time, Colonel. Give me time.
If Private Black is dead and then was reanimated, does that mean the same thing will happen to these two?
A very good point. Colonel, I suggest that these corpses are put somewhere secure. I presume you have a brig? I need to work out exactly what's going on here. Come on, Doctor, piece it together.
Here you go, miss. Army standard. Hot, strong, and 2 sugars.
You're a lifesaver. And it's Ellie.
Right you are, miss. I mean Ellie.
And does my shining knight bearing tea have a name?
Private Pentacost. Jed Pentacost.
Well, thank you, Jed.
How is he?
The patient? Just lies there, I'm afraid. Do you know him?
He's Private Grigson, B Company. He doesn't look well, does he? Will he be all right?
I'm sorry, I'm not a medic. I don't know. But I'm sure they're doing all they can.
I'd best be getting back, miss. I'm supposed to be on duty.
OK, maybe see you later?
I'd like that, miss.
Ellie.
Ellie?
Jed Pentacost. It can't be.
Is this necessary, Doctor?
This is where it came from. It must offer some clues.
This thing is solid stone.
It's some form of crystalline material, I'd say. And it most certainly is not solid.
Ow!
Mind your head on the scaffolding.
Thanks, I'd worked that one out.
So, Doctor, in your expert opinion, what exactly is this thing? Some sort of meteor?
It's far too angular to be a bed of rock. I'd say it was some sort of spaceship.
A spaceship?
And I'll prove it if I can find the door.
The door? My men have photographed every inch of the surface.
Oh, there's definitely a door.
How can you be so sure?
Macy?
Because something got out?
Et voila!
I don't see anything.
It's very well hidden. Shall we take a look?
You will stay behind me, please. I will go in first. This is incredible.
It's a strange mix of technologies, admittedly. Don't touch anything.
It appears to be deserted.
Not exactly.
What do you mean?
Look around the chamber. What do you see?
Are those coffins?
You could be forgiven for thinking that. They're cryopods. 5 of them.
What?
The crew are in suspended animation.
I wouldn't exactly consider that this creature is a member of the crew.
Why?
Well, those wings and claws, it would be incapable of operating those controls.
My God, what is it?
Well, I assume this is a Ffyxx.
A Ffyxx? How do you know that?
I've seen a report. Top secret. Hush, hush.
3 men are dead, Doctor. 1 is in a coma. If you have information about what is happening here...
I said I've seen a report. I didn't say I'd read it.
Doctor?
What is it?
This pod hasn't got one of those bat things in it. It looks like... Well, I think it was once a man.
This pod has been opened. Recently. The cryo field has been deactivated. No sign of life. No traces of electrical activity either, natural or technological, from the corpse.
That didn't stop the soldier coming back from the dead.
I need to take a reading on the reanimated one. It might tell us something.
Nothing like a nice cup of tea. Hello? Private Grigson? My name is Ellie Parker. Are you all right?
What exactly is going on here, Doctor?
I'm not 100% sure, but purely from an observational point of view... Macy?
Oh, right. We have 5 cryopods, 4 of which contain bat creatures, and 1 with a dead crew member.
An alien crew member, and alien creatures.
Obviously.
Army intelligence?
True.
What? That corpse is an alien? It looks like a man.
See what I mean? Count his fingers, Colonel. Look at the controls. They weren't made for human hands.
Perhaps he was taking the Ffyxx things somewhere, and one escaped.
That's possible. Doesn't explain how the ship made a controlled landing here.
A controlled landing?
If this ship had crashed, there'd be little pieces scattered over a large area. No, this ship made a precision touchdown.
They wanted to come here.
Then there's this. Is no one going to ask?
Okay, what is it?
I'm not entirely sure, but it appears to be some sort of collection and storage for bioelectrical...
Hello? Doctor, it's for you. Ellie.
Hello? We'll be right there. Well, it would appear that Private Grigson is awakening.
There you are! Just shoot it! Jesus! Look at it! Biffo! Should we go after that thing? That thing is long gone. Let's just sort Biffo! Look at him. What's left of him? We'll get stretched up on the infirmary.
Look! Over there!
What in heaven's name?
It's like what we saw before, in the morgue.
It's some sort of energy. Of course. The creatures are vampiric, but they're not drinking blood.
The energy is being siphoned off somewhere.
Heading towards... well, I'm not sure where it's going. Not to the ship, anyway. Strange. I'd have thought the collection node there would...
Does this mean there's been another death?
Yes, unfortunately. Come on, we need to speak to whoever or whatever Private Grigson has become. Maybe we'll get some answers.
You will release me.
Hold your horses, mate. I wasn't the one to strap you down.
You must release these bonds.
As much as I want to help, you have to wait. The doctor is on his way.
In fact, the doctor is in. How's the patient?
Very impatient, if you must know. He is eager to get up.
That is understandable.
You will release me.
Certainly. You appear to have made a startling recovery. Respiration, heart rate just above normal. Neurological functions far higher than the human norm. Would you care to tell me exactly who you are?
This is one of my men.
Not anymore.
What?
Leave it to the doctor.
Well, who are you?
Under the universal protocols of the Shadow Proclamation, you will identify yourself. I am the Doctor, last of the Time Lords.
My name is Chethrin Bayzaf.
This is absurd.
Be quiet. Go on. How do you come to be here?
I was returning to Jarveg with the creatures known as Ffyxx when one of the suspension pods failed. The creature escaped and I had to make a forced landing on this world. You must release me. The creature is free. It must be recaptured before it kills.
It already has.
Then we must not waste time in idle chatter. The creature will have already created its retainers. They could absorb all life on this planet.
What do you men want?
I'm sorry, sir. We fought Biff. Private Lincoln. He was attacked by that creature.
I see. Well, take his remains to the brig.
The brig, sir?
Yes, the brig. I've seen the remains of others come back as... Just take the corpse to the brig.
Yes, sir.
And you are to remain on guard there.
Sir?
Yes, sir. Come on, Merv.
Time is running out, Doctor.
Another of my men dead.
Release him.
Is this wise, Doctor?
Probably not, but what choice do we have? Whatever is now inside the body of Private Grigson is the only one who knows how to defeat the Ffyxx.
And Private Grigson? Is he dead too?
One thing at a time, eh?
On your head be it, Doctor.
Quite. Right, let's get these restraints off you.
Careful.
I don't hear him complaining.
He was our mate. Least we can do is show him some respect.
Yeah, sorry. This is all too strange. I expected to defend my country. I didn't think it'd be against monsters.
I know. Hold it a second. And forward. And down.
Hey, there are two more over there.
Let's get out of here.
Are you all right?
This body is merely adequate, so fragile. It was an easy prey for the Ffyxx, yet it must suffice.
You talk as if moving between bodies is a usual thing for you.
It has been necessary in the past to use an abandoned carcass.
You're talking about one of my men.
Apologies, I mean no disrespect.
When you have dealt with these creatures, what happens to Private Grigson?
The essence that was once housed in the shell has been taken. I merely occupy the form.
That doesn't answer the question.
Your warrior was already slain.
I assume that you have some means by which the Ffyxx can be neutralised.
In my ship, I have equipment that can detect the Ffyxx, incapacitate them, and drain them of energy.
And what of the stolen energy? Can that be returned?
The life forms who have been drained cannot be revived. They are dead. They are merely the instruments by which the Ffyxx may feed.
Best we get to your ship before more people fall victim.
A word if I may, Doctor. You trust this person?
At the moment, we don't have much choice. He's the only one with any knowledge of the Ffyxx.
We must go.
Take this.
Thank you, but, no. I prefer not to carry guns. Besides, from what we've seen, bullets are not exactly effective against them.
So it would appear.
Right, Macy, a little job for you and Ellie.
Aren't we coming with you?
Not at the moment. I need you to do something for me.
Okay.
Here. The settings are already selected. I want a top-to-toe body scan of each of the Ffyxx's victims. It may give us some idea how the corpses are being reanimated.
Isn't that something Grigson, Chethrin thingy can tell you?
The doctor doesn't trust him.
Let's just say he has yet to win my confidence. Never does any harm to have belt and braces. Try to keep out of trouble.
Right. I must telephone the ministry. Let them know what's going on here.
You could leave us the gun?
Certainly not.
You offered a gun to the doctor.
I will send someone to guard you.
That is a Webley Mark IV, .38 caliber, 6-round cylinder delivery, double action, accurate up to 50 yards.
Good lord.
I usually carry a Luger myself. Unfortunately, I left it in the office.
Very well. Here. I shall dispense with the guard.
That was brilliant.
It certainly showed him.
One minor hitch, though. We don't know where the bodies are.
The scan will complete momentarily.
Forgive the observation, but this ship is rather eclectic. Please don't get me wrong, I'm a past master at making men, but there's technology here which spans several centuries. A dozen different planets.
This is an old ship. It has travelled from one side of the galaxy to the other, been repaired and upgraded many times.
And what about you? How many times have you been repaired and upgraded? I presume that husk over there is your previous form.
I will miss that body. When the creature escaped, it absorbed the life essence from that form.
And yet that husk hasn't reanimated like the others. What did you call them? Retainers? Why is that?
I have located the creature. It is underground, nearby.
Underground? The Colonel mentioned that there was a cave system nearby.
The Ffyxx are creatures of the night.
We'll need equipment. Torches, rope. Time to see how well equipped the army stores are.
Steady.
Oh, it's all very well for you to say that. It's not your daughter whose life's at stake.
She's in good hands. She's with the doctor after all.
That's what worries me.
You don't trust the doctor?
There was a time when I'd answered yes to that, without hesitation.
So what's changed? He's still the doctor, no matter what face he wears.
I know. I've met this one a few times now, and he is... But it's difficult to separate established history, what you see written down in black and white, and what's actually happening now, at this moment, but 55 years ago.
I guess you'd have insider knowledge on that one.
Time is relative. I even sound like him. I guess I got used to the doctor not being around. He wasn't there to save Jeff. And now I've entrusted him with my daughter, but I know what's going to happen to her.
How did you know all that gun stuff? Is that part of your training?
No, I was an army brat. Mum and Dad were both members of unit until Dad was declared MIA.
MIA?
Missing in action.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was just a toddler. I hardly remember him. Mainly just old photos and second-hand stories. Mum hung in there, hoping for a miracle that somehow he'd be found. She worked hard, was promoted, so I got to spend a lot of time around soldiers.
Oh, sounds fun.
Hey, look! There's my knight in shining armour. Maybe he can direct us.
Your knight?
Makes the best cup of tea.
And that is your only interest in him?
Of course it is. He's far too old.
Too old? He's what, 19, 20?
Yeah, but how old is he in 2015?
God, yes, I never thought about that.
He'd be what, 75?
Same age as my... Oh, it doesn't matter.
Thank you, Minister. I understand. Goodbye.
Sir?
We are sanctioned to use heavy artillery to deal with these creatures.
Very good, sir. Shall I inform the men?
One other thing, Sergeant. We are fortunate they are currently confined within the perimeter of the base. However, if these creatures escape, the Minister will have no option but to arrange a tactical airstrike against the base and the surrounding area.
But the men and the civilians?
I'm aware of that. See that these creatures are found and dealt with.
Sir!
You know, you still haven't said how you intend to deal with the Ffyxx.
I have the means to do so.
Would you care to explain? And the retainers, what exactly are they? You have to give me something. You expect me to trust you. You expect me to make them trust you. The lives of everyone on this planet is potentially at stake.
You care for them, the creatures of this world.
The humans? Of course I do.
They are primitive, weak in mind and body.
Yet they burn the brightest. There's no other species in the universe like them.
Now you understand why they return, what the Ffyxx Queen can obtain here.
The Ffyxx creature is female?
All the Ffyxx aboard my ship are female. They absorb life essence in order to generate cellular mitosis.
It started a reproductive process.
It is all the creatures do, absorb life and reproduce.
And you brought them to this planet.
Is that it?
It's what the doctor said to do. Scan them head to toe. Next one.
Please hurry, miss. I'm not rightly sure I should have opened the cells for you.
The Colonel gave his permission, and the doctor, he's the Colonel's scientific advisor.
What was I...
Are you alright?
Yes, I just feel a little... Can you hear that?
Like singing.
Where's it coming from?
You three, out of there, now!
What?
It moved. That thing moved.
No, get out of my head. You have to come with me.
But I want to stay.
No arguments, you are coming with me. Are you alright, miss?
Yes. That singing. I couldn't think clearly. Where's Macy? She's still in there.
You can't go back in there.
Watch me.
Maybe we should review the report again. There might be something we've missed.
It's not going to do much good. It's a series of facts. An alien spaceship crash lands, a horde of vampire creatures, and 47 people lose their lives.
46?
What? Are you sure?
Yes. It says here 43 people died.
There's something strange going on here. First I read there were 47 deaths, then you read out that there were 46, then 43.
I don't understand what you're saying. I just read out there were 39 deaths.
He's doing it. He's changing events.
And Ellie?
Oi, I'm dead.
Oh, Ellie, can you hear the singing?
Back away from her. You were warned. Oh, crap, 6 bullets.
There is still a Miss Parker on the list of the dead. And a Miss Furguson as well.
No, not Macy too. How can that have changed? He will find a way to sort it. He's the doctor. Close that report, now! You're reading out the details. And time's in flux. If he's altering the past, we can't look at the specifics of the event. We're maintaining the history, making it irrefutable.
I don't understand.
We just have to trust him. He will succeed. We just have to wait and find out.
Oh!
Are you all right?
I'm wet, soaking wet. Did you just turn a fire hose on us?
I wasn't actually aiming at you.
Well, what were you aiming at?
You don't remember.
Those corpses came back to life.
Well, one of them got away. What about the other two?
Look for yourself.
Just bones. How the devil?
Simple, really. Chethrin, Grigson, whatever you prefer to call him, indicated that the Ffyxx have come to Earth before. Quite how they got here is another matter, but it's possibly the origin of vampire mythology?
I'll take your word for that.
So, according to myth, how do you dispose of a creature of the night? Macy?
Stake to the heart?
Possibly, but strike one. Ellie?
Chop the head off?
Strike two. How about you, Private?
Dunno, something to do with the water, I guess.
Quite right.
But surely that's supposed to be holy water.
These creatures don't drink blood, they absorb the spectrum of energy at a cellular level, the very essence of life. Obviously, water affects the electrical equilibrium, possibly even earthing the creatures, draining the power, and without the binding energy, they fall apart.
Pity they didn't arrive during a thunderstorm.
I suspect it would need to be a pretty substantial downpour to have any effect.
Where's Chethrin?
With Sergeant Peters, requisitioning torches and rope. We're going potholing. The Ffyxx Queen has gone to ground.
Perhaps we should get the ladies some dry clothes?
Have you still got my sonic screwdriver?
Here. It's got a bit damp.
Don't worry, it's waterproof.
Pity this dress wasn't.
Time for some answers. Mind yourself on the last bit.
I'm fine. I have been in caves before. It's par for the course on CBBC.
Fair enough.
This way.
Are you all right? That's the second time that's happened.
This body, it's taking a little longer to settle in than I thought.
I often have that problem myself. Private Davis, could you assist Private Grigson?
Yes, sir.
I am capable, thank you.
What's the matter?
Grigson, Chethrin Bayzaf. He looks different.
In what way?
Did you not notice his face?
Even in this light you can see he doesn't look well, but then he was practically dead a few hours ago.
Maybe the body's failing. I'd swear he looks older. Lines around the eyes.
I didn't notice.
So are you going to tell me what's the matter?
Tell you what?
I know I haven't asked, but even a thick-skinned old Time Lord like me notices when something is on your mind. Your grandmother?
Yeah. She's slipping away.
I'm sorry. Why didn't you stay behind? You didn't need to come.
I just wanted to forget. Just for a little while. Running around and chasing monsters I can cope with. When I get back, it'll be...
I'll get you home, just as soon as we're done here.
I know.
Come on, you lot! Put your backs into it! Get that tarp out of the way!
Ma'am?
Ellie?
Not whilst you're giving orders, ma'am.
Very well, Private. What is it?
We've obtained the cables, ma'am. Awaiting your instructions.
The doctor said he wanted the scaffolding earthed to the frame of the electricity pylon.
Very good, ma'am. Do you know why?
I haven't the faintest idea.
I must rest a moment.
You shouldn't be down here. You're not well.
I will recover.
Give me the detector. I'll locate the Ffyxx and deal with it.
You can't. The device is keyed to my brainwaves. You will not be able to operate it.
Doctor, the tunnel splits just up ahead.
Chethrin, which way do we go?
The trace is the same from both tunnels.
It would be, wouldn't it?
I suggest we split up.
I'd advise against it, sir.
We have little time. The Ffyxx will shortly reproduce.
Very well.
I will take the right-hand tunnel.
In that case, Macy and I will take the left tunnel. Private Davis, you will accompany, yes, you will accompany him.
There is no need. I am capable of neutralizing the Ffyxx. You, however, are unarmed.
You're not going alone. You are unwell.
As you instruct.
This is reconnaissance only. We meet back here in 10 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Come on, Macy.
Sergeant Peters, report.
Sir, they have the creature trapped. The one that was Private Black. They have it contained in the Nappy building.
Very well, with me. Any word from the doctor?
No, sir. Not since I entered the cave system. As per the doctor's instructions, the entrance is being guarded.
Let's hope they are successful. I see the ship has been uncovered.
And the electrical connections to the pylon will be completed shortly, sir.
What was all that about back there?
What was what?
I can spot a cockfight when I see one.
How very eloquently put.
You know what I mean. What's going on with Chethrin?
He appears to have aged a decade or more in the last half an hour. I'd say the clock is ticking, and quite rapidly.
He's dying.
Possibly. I just don't think he's telling us everything.
About the Ffyxx?
About himself. I also don't like the way he keeps checking that detector of his.
It is leading us to the creature, isn't it?
I think so, but he's not taking the most direct route. It's almost as if he's stalling for time.
If you say so. Oh, it's a dead end. Should we go back?
No, there's a way through. Up there.
Oh, joy! First potholing, now rock climbing.
You were wanting a distraction earlier. Come on, I'll give you a leg up.
Beautiful.
Is that the creature?
Yes. My salvation.
We should be heading back, sir. We agreed to meet the doctor.
No! I must stay here. Only minutes remain. See how she swells in readiness.
Sir, I must insist. You will accompany me back to the junction.
I refuse!
Ah!
A waste. You could have provided further sustenance.
Report?
The building's empty, sir, with the exception of the creature.
You're sure this is the only one?
All the men are accounted for, sir. This is the only creature remaining.
Very well. Continue, Sergeant. What about the men with grenades?
In position, sir.
Give the order for the men to fall back. Grenades will be deployed on my command.
Yes, sir.
Calm yourself. Calm. They have destroyed the last retainer. It is of no matter.
You appear to have failed to neutralise the Ffyxx. Care to explain why?
Doctor, I had hoped you would take a little longer to find us.
Well?
The optimum moment is not yet here.
Optimum for who?
Doctor, look! Private Davis!
Was it really necessary for you to kill him?
It was a waste of resource.
Of life essence, you mean?
So you realise? A Ffyxx queen cannot feed herself or protect herself at this time. Stay back.
He's helping that thing.
I rather think he's helping himself.
Okay.
So this is it. It usually boils down to a madman with a gun.
I am not mad, Doctor.
Then tell me, what do you call someone who's attempting to live forever?
Now you've lost me completely.
Earlier, I asked Chethrin if he was a bounty hunter or a trader. Turns out he's little more than a farmer, and a selfish one at that. The Ffyxx are a sacred cow, containing the milk of life. Am I right?
A crude analogy.
But not that far from the truth. You brought them here to feed.
The Ffyxx extract the essence of life forms in order to reproduce.
And in turn, you drain it from the Ffyxx to extend your life.
Why not? Why should I not continue?
Because everyone has a set lifespan. A finite existence. We are born, we live, we die.
And what of you, a Time Lord? Do you not live forever, reborn in new forms?
I'm not immortal. Neither do I wish to. But no one has to die in order for me to live.
The time has come. I shall renew.
What's happening?
He's draining the energy from the Ffyxx to repair himself.
Oh, let's get out of here.
No! If Ellie has done what I asked.
Why? What has she done?
Ma'am, look!
It's working, or at least it seems to be.
You don't look very well.
The essence will be processed in my ship in return, making this body strong once more.
Yeah, that assumes that the energy's actually reached your ship.
What have you done?
The life energy of those poor souls has been drained to ground. The nearest thing they'll get to a funeral.
No! I must live!
Your time has long gone. The end is come. You can come out now.
What happened? And before you say it, don't say he just went to pieces.
That has to have been the quickest exit of all time.
You know the Doctor never hangs around long enough to let the dust settle.
I thought you'd appreciate the fireworks from a distance.
You didn't.
Didn't what?
Are you really going to blow it up? The spaceship?
Not this time. I set it on automatic, a course for deep space. The remaining Ffyxx will continue in cryosleep until, well, for a long time. Thereafter, who knows?
What was all that about the phone call?
Oh, that was Bernard. They found a crashed spaceship in the London Underground, wanting my advice.
So is that where we're going next?
No, that's one mystery he needs to sort by himself. So, Ellie, how was your first proper trip aboard the TARDIS?
I'm hoping to stay on, if you'll take me.
You'd best talk to your mother about that one. Macy, how are you doing?
I think I'm ready to go home now. There is someone I want to say goodbye to, whilst I have the chance.
Here we are, all safe and sound. Ffyxx dealt with, disaster averted.
I'm sorry, Mum.
It's all right, Jenkins. Where's Ellie?
I'm here.
And Macy?
Dropped her home en route. She'll call. How did I do?
Reduced the death toll by 41.
People still died.
But 41 were saved. You altered history.
You have a problem with the outcome?
Definitely not.
I thought he wasn't supposed to do that.
Time was out of kilter. I set it back on the right direction. And you may notice Ellie once more has blonde hair and green eyes.
Didn't I always?
Not necessarily. So, have you solved the problem? Has time reset properly now?
Only in part. It would appear that further adjustments will be required. Not just with Earth history.
Oh, so you're going to tinker?
Tinker? Tinker? I'm a Time Lord. I'm an expert in these things. I will make the necessary corrections. Search out what's gone wrong and...
meddle.
I will caress history back onto its correct course.
Still sounds like tinkering to me.
It's what I do best. Right, first things first. I brought us a tin of Huntley and Palmer's tea time assortment. Is someone going to put the kettle on?
Essence of Life, with Steve Green as the Doctor, Alison Trace as Caroline, Jemma Nicholls as Macy, Heather Foulkes as Ellie, David Trace as Wallace, Dave Ward as Peters, Andrew Cullip as Chethrin, Graeme Nott as Pentacost, John Hicks as Darcy, Sarah Finnerty as Jenkins, with Nick Randell and John Dredge as soldiers. Plymouth Who Productions will return in our next audio adventure, The Taint of Paradise.